One of our big financial goals this year is working on paying off our mortgage early. So today I'm sharing how you can work on paying off your mortgage early. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel we talk about life and money and how you can enjoy life while still accomplishing financial goals through the use of a budget. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, then scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any new videos. So I live in Portland, Oregon with my husband Jacob and my 9-month-old son Peter, and we recently bought a house like a year and a half ago, and this is our first home. We put about 5% down on our home, and our big goal this year is to at least get rid of PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, and we needed that because we put down less than 20% on this home. But thanks to some market appreciation and also making some extra mortgage payments, I think we're going to be really close to this point here in maybe a couple months. So maybe you are wanting to pay off your mortgage early. Here's how you can do it. First, make sure your other financial goals are on pace. So before you even think about paying off the mortgage early, I would make sure that you have other financial goals in place, like having a solid emergency fund, especially as a homeowner. I would say probably at least 6 months of necessary expenses saved up in an emergency fund. And also you should have paid off any other kinds of consumer debt, like student loans, credit cards, car payments, personal loans, or any other sorts of outstanding debt that you may have. We actually bought our house being debt-free. We had paid off $87,000 of student loans and saved an emergency fund before we bought a house. But if you currently have a house and you don't have those things taken care of, I would definitely look at doing those before working on paying off your mortgage early. That way you can tackle one thing at a time. And while it would obviously be great to not have any sort of mortgage debt, a house is at least hopefully an appreciating asset. So the debt on a house is a little bit different than the debt that you may have on a car, which is a depreciating asset. You should also be working on saving for retirement. Now, if you are a Dave Ramsey follower, you're probably thinking that this sounds a lot like what Dave Ramsey might say, but I kind of like how he has these steps mapped out in regards to like paying off the mortgage, because he says that before you work on paying off the mortgage, you should be consumer debt free, have an emergency fund, be putting 15% to retirement, and working on saving for kids' college. And I would definitely agree with all of those things. While it would be great to have a paid for house, mortgage interest rates are historically low, and the return that you could potentially get on investments is a lot higher. And you want to make sure that you are saving for retirement and saving for your future. So for us, while we are working on paying off our mortgage, we also are making sure that we are at least saving 15% towards retirement, and we are also contributing to our son's college education, and then every extra penny after that is going towards paying off the mortgage. Hi, sleepy baby.
We just wanted to see our mom.
Hi, sleepy baby. I love you. How was your nap?
Hour 25.
Oh my goodness, you took such a good nap. Okay, I'll be right there. I love you. So Marissa from the future here. I was sitting down to edit this video and realized that I had left out an entire step. So here is step number 2. Step number 2 is to find extra money that you can put towards your mortgage. And the way that you can do this is by taking a look at your budget. If you are not making a budget every month, I would highly recommend getting started with budgeting. A budget does not need to be complicated. It is simply a plan for your finances. Here on my channel, I talk a ton about budgeting, and I actually have a budget template. I will have a link to it down below in the description box. I like to use that in Excel, but whatever budget method you enjoy, please use that to create a budget every single month for your household. And if you want to check out more videos on budgeting, I will leave a video playlist up here so you can check it out. But you'll want to be able to find extra money from your budget to be able to put towards the mortgage. And you can do this in a couple of ways. The first way is to cut things out of your budget. So maybe you decide to kind of trim down like your eating out category. Maybe you don't need to be eating out as much, or maybe you are cutting back on some of that Amazon shopping, or even cutting cable, whatever that may be. You can find ways in your budget to be able to cut back on things that you necessarily don't care about as much so that you can put more money towards your financial goals. And the other way to find extra money to put towards the mortgage is by making more money. So you could do this by starting a side hustle of sorts to bring in an additional income stream, or you could take on some extra hours at your job if you're paid hourly. Maybe you could do some overtime, or you could just even look for a higher paying job. There are many options out there for you to be able to make some additional money for your household. And if you do get a pay increase and you are making extra money, you can take every extra dollar there and put it towards an extra mortgage payment. And I guess the work here depends on how serious you are about paying your mortgage off as soon as possible. For us, we aren't being super duper intense about paying off our mortgage, but instead we're just using every extra dollar that we have in our budget after we live pretty simply and we've cut out things that we don't necessarily care about. We can then put every extra dollar that we have towards making an extra mortgage payment. Now, step 3 is to actually make an extra mortgage payment. So if you have all these other financial goals taken care of and you know that it's time for you to start working on paying off your mortgage, you want to make sure that you're making the correct type of payment. And that payment is paying extra towards your mortgage principal. Now, I know that for who I have my loan through, you could go on and make a prepayment for next month, but that's not actually going to move the needle in reducing your mortgage balance. And instead, you want to be paying extra towards that principal because that's going to reduce the amount of interest that's going to accrue, and that's really going to get the needle moving in that mortgage payoff. So when you're making an extra payment, just make sure that you are paying that towards your mortgage principal specifically. Now, the 4th step is to track your payoff and also project as to when you will be mortgage free. And the way that you can do that is through using an amortization schedule, which is just a fancy word for showing you how much your balance is, how much you're paying in principal and interest, and then you can see when the payments will eventually stop. So I actually have just made this spreadsheet and I'm super excited about it, you guys. I was totally nerding out about creating this thing. So I will have a link to it in the description box down below so you can check it out on my shop. But I have this set up so that you will easily be able to track your mortgage balance and see when you will be mortgage free. So I just want to show it to you real fast. Here's how it works. So here you want to record your original loan amount. So let's say your original loan was $400,000. And then your annual interest rate, so we could say 3.5%, and then the loan period in years. So if you do a 30-year mortgage, and then the number of payments per year, so that would be 12 because we're paying it every month. And then the date of the first payment. So I know that for our first payment, it was 11/1/19. So here it will automatically show you for each payment how much your payment is, and then how much interest you're paying for that payment and how much of that payment is also principal. Then there's this extra column here for you to record any sort of extra principal payment. So as you can see, you could say that let's go down to February of 2021, you made an extra payment of $2,000. And then it'll reduce that balance to show you what that's like if you did $2,000. I love using this in a spreadsheet format because the amount that you put towards your mortgage every month as an extra principal payment may vary month over month. So here you can project out and say 2,000 one month, 1,000 the next. Then I know I'm gonna have a bonus, so then I could do 5,000 or whatever that may be, and then you can see that your balance will dwindle down. So you can keep scrolling down to see how many payments you're going to make on this mortgage, and eventually you will see that the balance will be paid in full, which is really exciting. And then as you are making extra payments, you'll see that balance that paid in full get even further up the page, as you can see. And also, if you've already made extra principal payments to your mortgage and you're looking to make more, you can still use this spreadsheet. So you could say that the current balance right now is $390, and that date is going to be on 2/1/21. And then it'll automatically highlight for you that month that you just indicated, and you can see here that the balance you've set is $390. So the months before that won't be exact to like the ending balance because you've added extra to your mortgage payoff. But going forward and down the page, this should all be correct as you are inserting extra mortgage payments. So again, I will have a link to this loan amortization schedule in the description box down below, and you can check it out there. And I hope that you'll find this helpful on your journey of working on paying off your mortgage. So thanks so much for hanging out and joining me for today's video, and let me know in the comments down below, how long do you think it's going to take you to pay off your mortgage? And I'm super excited to be continuing to work on this financial goal as we're hopefully getting ready to drop PMI here soon. So thanks so much for hanging out, and I will look forward to seeing you guys in that next video. Bye.